How's it going, everybody? Welcome to OP Entertainment. I'm Omar Darwish.
And I'm Pratik Cherian.
And today we're talking about the most beloved comic book movie of all time. Spider-Man 3. This is, at least for now, the last installment in the Sam Raimi verse. What are your overall thoughts, Pratik? Let's hear it.
So, before rewatching this today, I had always held the opinion that Spider-Man 3 was unfairly hated because it's equal-ish in quality to the other ones. Like, it's in keeping with that. And after watching this, I am more convinced of that opinion than ever before.
I am a little bit with you on that. I will say that this definitely took more of a comedic route for sure than the rest of them. And I think maybe this is a sign of like what we're going to get with Venom 2, like literally the Venom 2 movie. I think they've noticed that the comedy works so well with the first one. They kind of leaned into that. They really lean into the awkward humor in this movie.
Yeah, we had talked in the earlier ones about how there's like unintentional comedy. This one
I think is 100% intentional.
Yeah, in this one they were like, if you're on the fence about it, this is fully intentional comedy.
Yes.
And you know what? It works. It's great.
I gotta say, I was ready because I know you're not high on this franchise as I am. So I was ready to be like, all right, finally, the third movie's not that great. We can hate watch it together. I really enjoyed this. I had so much fun with this movie. I loved it when I first saw it, and then I saw it a few years back, and I didn't like it as much. But this time, I think I enjoyed it just as much as I did when I was a kid.
So we both enjoy the movie, but let me ask you, enjoyment of it aside, is it a good movie, technically?
No.
Okay.
It's way too overstuffed. You could have cut 2 villains out of this, and it would have been
easily
much better. The same mistakes are made later on in the Andrew Garfield franchise with the second one.
Okay, all right.
But I think that that movie handles it much worse. At least I think there's a bit of balance between the villains, other than maybe Venom, who's more shoehorned than Goblin is in the next movie. But overall, I think that it really suffered from Venom being in this movie. I'll say that much.
Yeah, so yes and no. Yes, because like Venom as a villain, the movie goes downhill the second like Peter takes off the black suit. And it goes to Eddie Brock. Like that's the line where after that, like the movie just falls off a cliff. Everything before that, I think, is fairly defensible.
I think I've always held that opinion, but after watching it this time, I don't know. I feel like it worked. He teams up with Sandman. They don't waste any time with it. They kind of just run into teaming in.
It's all kind of rushed. It comes out of nowhere. Like I don't know. I feel like up until that point, you had like the bones of something interesting.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to defend this movie. I agree with you. But I think though what this movie does better than honestly both of its predecessors, it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
And that's why like
some of the best CGI. Yeah. Go ahead. Some of the worst. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's why I defend like that the Peter dancing portions, the Peter with the sim, because it's played as a joke and it's so funny.
Also,
like
Topher Grace is great in this movie. I honestly thought he was great. Like he did that role better than I think anybody else would have played that role.
I said it while we were watching it. He reminded me of Timberlake from Social Network.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
And maybe it's the way he looks, but like
the frosted tips.
But it like he gives off those vibes, and he doesn't deserve all the hate that he got for this movie.
No,
and again,
he definitely doesn't.
Once he gets bonded with, I think the worst part about like his performance isn't even his performance. It's those stupid like fake fang teeth they give him once he bonds with the symbiote. Like, do
you think that maybe since we've gotten like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, we're a bit more forgiving? I think that's kind of the same thing as Topher Grace's Venom, getting this scrawny like nerdy guy to play like a bigger dude who we usually know him as a bigger dude in the comics. I think that kind of took all the hate away from this for me. I feel like there might be some of that.
Maybe I disagree because most of what I liked about Topher Grace was him playing Eddie Brock.
You also
so I don't
like Jesse Eisenberg in Batman vs Superman, right? Yes.
But that besides the point, the stuff I liked about him was when he was playing Eddie Brock, who doesn't need to be a bigger guy. So I think all of that's like kind of out the window.
Maybe he doesn't need to be, but I've always kind of liked that. At least in every other incarnation I've seen, Eddie Brock is much more of a physical opponent. He's much bigger than Peter. And then that way when he gets the suit, it just amplifies it, right? So he can bully him around. But I think that is part of why people originally didn't like it. It doesn't look aesthetically like how Venom is. And that is still a bit of a gripe for me. why couldn't they have made him a bit bigger in the Venom suit? He's literally like the same size as Peter. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's a minor gripe, and maybe that's just like a costume thing. But
speaking of minor costume things, my minor like costume gripe with this movie is they couldn't have given us like the black Spider-Man suit like from the comics with like the white spider logo and everything. Like for Peter, like I don't need it for Venom necessarily. But
I'm gonna imagine they tested it and it didn't look right. I'm just gonna guess because if I feel like Raimi's not opposed to nodding to the comics.
Yeah, I feel like when Peter gets the suit, that suit in particular needs some contrast.
Also, though, I feel like it's supposed to be like that black Venom has saturated into the suit. Why would it make his emblem white all of a sudden? Like I think it is supposed to be just like it's dinge now. It's just all over. It's like if you spill black paint on something.
It did create a mask out of nowhere.
Did it?
Yeah,
well, but that's Venom's like symbiote-ness can do that, right?
It can also like make the costume look different. So
color.
You can't argue both sides.
We've never seen it change color.
Like
in this universe, at least.
Yeah, we've all. Okay, all right, fine. All right, I concede. I think when you're playing with the universe the way you are here, like you could have easily done that. It would have made it look better. Minor costume gripe. I'm not like
maybe
docking it significant points for that.
Yeah. But. So overall, where does this stand in your rankings? You know what? Rank all the movies. Let's go.
I'm not. That's tough because if you ask me like my overall, how much did I enjoy watching it?
But were you hate watching or were you really having fun?
No, like really having fun.
Then I think you got to take that into consideration with your score.
It's probably like Spider-Man 3 then 1 then 2.
Oh.
It might be 1 then 3 then 2.
1 then 3 then 2. So 2 is last no matter what.
2 is last no matter what.
Gotcha.
I'm
going to respectfully disagree. I'm going to say it's still probably the same order. I may put 3 over 1 though. I'm gonna say 2, 3, 1. 1 is the least interesting for me.
All right, we're gonna have to disagree.
Yeah, for sure.
Going back to like the core cast here, what did you think about Franco and Kristen Dunst in this movie?
I thought Franco was really just kind of leaning into the humor aspect of his character. He was really funny. He looked like he was on drugs the entire movie.
He's
got a lazy eye that he's never had before, which was odd.
Yeah,
but my number one scene with James Franco though is when the train or the bus goes by and he's just like all of a sudden gone. Like, dude, he's obviously crawling around the floor. He just like went to the bathroom or something. Like he's not Batman. And
he's like,
also while we're on the topic, Batman shouldn't be able to do that either.
Well, that's Batman plot armor, but yeah, no, it was definitely one of those things where it's like, all right, you're like messing with Peter for no reason. You're like hoping that he looks back, kind of like. I don't know. It was weird. It was bizarre. It was
a character moment. I dug it. I got a laugh out of it.
Kristen Dunst.
I honestly think she might have been the best in this movie. While
out of the three she's in, yeah, I agree.
When I first saw this movie, I was really annoyed with her character. Like she's kind of whiny, but
she's whiny in the second one too.
Yes, but but that's what I'm saying. Like it's not like she got improved, but
yeah, but at least in this
Peter's
movie,
worse.
In this movie she has a reason because they're actually dating. Like in the other one, she's just whiny because she's whiny.
Well, they were kind of dating in the last one. Remember when Doc Ock asked her, "You got a girlfriend?" It's complicated.
You're smart. Peter Parker doesn't even know if he has a girlfriend or not.
With the answer no. Tom Holland saying the word he propagated.
How about you say the word first, and then we'll ask Tom Holland.
I'm not Peter Parker Pratik. Say Peter Parker Pratik 5 times fast. Why don't you? Oh man. Let's get to the main character though, Peter, Spider-Man.
Do we have to?
Oh boy, yeah. Definitely the least likable ever. I wish that this is my biggest flaw with the movie.
He's more unlikable in Spider-Man 2.
It's as if he had the symbiote with him the entire time. Like
the entire trilogy?
The entirety of this movie. Like they should have showed him and MJ kind of being good, and then the symbiote kind of takes in his revenge. Like maybe hint that he's a little spiteful or whatever, but he's kind of a dick the entire movie. Like
maybe this is because how much I don't like him like all the way through.
Yeah.
But to me, I like him the best when he had the symbiote. At least there's something to laugh at. There's something interesting. Like,
You want to cry?
he's funny. He had like the one genuinely funny line when he had the symbiote. Give me that, Peter Parker.
He's got the line where he says, "You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door." And I was like, man, yes. I'll still say the Dickovich family is my second. I'd say Mr. Dickovich. What's his daughter's name?
I don't think she's ever named. Is she named?
Yes, Ursula. I think, J.K. Simmons kind of steals the show again. We get more of J.K. Simmons in this. What did you think
Is
of
it
that?
more?
I want to say like he's
definitely
integrated into
in
the
Spider-Man
beginning,
2
middle,
now.
and end. Maybe because his son's involved in the plot of Spider-Man 2, but I think we get more of him in this. Like, it is a bit thrown together, though, like, at the end when he buys the camera off of the girl. Like, I feel like that scene could have even been a reshoot. But I feel like they were like, there's not enough J.K. Simmons in this, and they put him in right at the end. That gave me my fill. I don't know.
Maybe.
Let's talk about the real star of this, Bruce Campbell.
Oh,
Dude,
gosh,
how sad are you that we're never going to see the realization of him becoming Mysterio?
Not actually.
Really? You like the mystery of it? No pun intended?
No. It's not that. So for those of you who don't know, he was set to play Mysterio.
Yeah,
if
there's
there
even
was
storyboards of Spider-Man 4 where Peter brings him in. He was robbing a bank or something. And he brings him into the precinct or something.
Yeah, I kind of like just Bruce Campbell showing up through these movies in these like
Funny.
small funny roles where he has like 5 minutes of screen time and kills it throughout.
Best one?
Yes, best one for sure. The French waiter was hilarious.
Loved
it.
I do love the last one when he's like, "Oh, you might want to. Can I help you?" Like that.
That
was really
that
funny.
one was good too.
And like he's standing so tall on like a thing, like up above Peter. Peter looks so small, and like and he's like so judgmental. I really feel like they were really gonna do something with him in the fourth one. Like I hope he wasn't just gonna be a villain that was taken in, but I guess we'll never know unless the rumors are true and we do get a Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4. That being said, so okay, I guess you just answered my question for me. Would you be looking forward to it if they announced Sam Raimi is going to go back to this universe and do a Spider-Man 4? Because there's been a lot of rumors from people inside Sony that they want this.
They want it. They shouldn't.
Do you still want him to show? Well, you didn't want him to show up in No Way Home anyway. But do you want him to show up in No Way Home now after watching the trilogy?
If I could get symbiote Peter to show up in No Way Home, yes, here for it.
I'd be willing to put $100 on that. That's the furthest thing. That's what's gonna happen. Like you'll get Peter before he gets bit by the spider. Before you get symbiote Peter.
We get No Way Home is the Tobey Maguire scene is just like Tom Holland swinging through New York and he sees Tobey Maguire doing the dance and he's just like, okay, and that's it. That's all we get.
Oh, God,
I'd be here for it.
I hope not. That being said, are there any other characters I feel like we're leaving off?
Bryce Dallas Howard's Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, I think I forgot about her because the movie forgot about her for about an hour of the movie. She's really just used as a device for Peter to make MJ jealous,
Right.
Unintentionally at first, and then, well, kind of intentionally. I don't know.
Who knows?
It was such a dick move to kiss her like that.
Peter's an idiot.
Peter's an idiot in this movie. I'll say that. I won't say in the other ones, but in this one he is. He does use sound for Venom. To destroy him. Talk about scientific method.
Okay, all right. He like lucked into it the first time, and then
he remembered when he saw what happened.
Yeah, because that's scientific.
I
remember
thought
the thing that happened.
Look, Tom Holland Spider-Man would have just tried to punch his way out of it.
Tom Holland Spider-Man would have pulled out some like sonic device out of his suit. And
Yeah,
been like,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
He would have thrown some Stark tech at it. He wouldn't have had to deal with it. Oh God.
Andrew Garfield Spider-Man would have taken those pipes, like constructed a device out of it, and
No, he would have needed Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy to help him demagnetize her or something.
Now I want to see that movie.
We will. We'll get to it. Overall score of the franchise and overall score of the movie. Go.
You know what? This is going to be boring, but I'm going to give this one a 7 as well.
Have you given them all 7?
I've given every single one of them a 7.
So then, obviously, your score for the franchise is a 9 then, yeah?
That's the way scoring works,
Yeah.
right? What's up, Falcon Winter Soldier? No. No, I think the franchise overall, I'll give it a 7. Which, to be fair, is probably higher than I thought I was going to give it before we started this rewatch. overall, it's good, not great. There's good things, there's things to like, there's things to laugh, there's things to really, really hate, namely Peter Parker. But
he's just not as attractive as Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland. I'm sorry.
and the character is stupid and an idiot. But anyway, your score.
So he's your favorite Spider-Man then? Gotcha. Before I score it, I'm curious. I remember when we finished the Snyderverse, you were like, I'm never going to go back and watch any of these movies ever again. Same thing with this?
No.
You think you'll go back and watch these?
Yeah. I mean,
your friend's like, I've never seen the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. Are you like, oh, we got to watch this?
Not got to. I'd be like, do you have time? All right. Spider-Man 1, we can skip Spider-Man 2, go straight to Spider-Man 3.
Okay. Yeah, let's just skip the masterpiece.
Honestly, you could do Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 3 and not lose anything.
You could do Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3 and not lose anything. They recap Spider-Man 1 in both of these movies.
True, but I feel like with Spider-Man 3, because of the Harry arc, like it kind of like has this thing where it pays off from the stuff in the first one. So if you
it would be a crazy jump though from the end of the first one to just he's all of a sudden got the goblin stuff, and like you would have to do a lot of headcanon to replace it.
Just a little bit.
Just watch the whole trilogy, guys. It's worth it. And I am gonna go ahead and score it. I think for the movie, I'm gonna give the movie a 7.
Okay.
But honestly, it was damn near a 10 as far as enjoyment.
You're not wrong.
As far as the trilogy goes, though, because I was really planning to hate watch this movie, but I just was enjoying it so much. Some of the best fight choreography like ever. This trilogy, I got to give it to all the movies, maybe excluding the first one. They have such great scenes of Spider-Man swinging through the city, him using his powers in creative ways. He's not just...
I don't know about creative, but...
I would say pretty creative. Like that whole scene where he's free falling to save Bryce Dallas Howard and he webs to the things and kicks off of it. I don't know. There's a lot of dope.
I have questions about the
stuff.
physics of that, but yeah,
there's a lot of physics. We won't go into the next movie, but there's a lot of physics problems with Spider-Man in general in these movies. Can we talk about Captain America's shield? No? Okay.
That's its power. It defies physics, okay?
Yeah.
1 second it can bounce off of something, the next second it can cut through it.
Cut through them,
and then the next second it can't. Go on.
And when Bucky uses it, it just bends. As far as the trilogy overall, I'm going to give this trilogy a 9 out of 10. I really enjoy Spider-Man 1. Spider-Man 2 is at least in my top 3 favorite comic book movies of all time. And Spider-Man 3 was so damn enjoyable. It was so funny. So many laughs. Like, I really feel like it may be the most enjoyable out of the 3. So, yeah, I think a 10 overall. Or, I'm sorry. A 9 overall. If I'm using my nostalgia goggles, I'd probably give it all a 10. But I'm going to just give it the whole trilogy a 9 overall.
So, just to recap, if I remember right, Spider-Man 1 you gave an 8. Spider-Man 2 you gave a 9. This one you're giving a 7.
I'm giving this, yes.
And then the whole
overall
thing you're giving a 9.
Yes, because the
ingredients... You don't know how averages work, do you?
But you have to take into consideration. Okay, Pratik, let me give you. Here's broccoli, here's cheese, and here's chocolate cake. They may all be great. You may give the broccoli a 10. You may give the cheese a 10. You may give the chocolate cake a 10. But all together, is it a 10?
No, but what you're saying is all together, it's better than any individual one by itself. Okay.
That's also 100% possible.
Yeah, no,
I think that is how critics should review
I think that's
things.
how cakes work and not how movies work. But you know what? Difference of opinion.
It's how.
That's fine.
But when you're looking at a trilogy, if the first one, they can even out. You're not finding the median. This isn't math. But go ahead.
No, you're right. Assigning things numbers and then asking you to—that's not math at all.
This is why so many critics don't give numerical scores, because people will be like, "How'd you give Alice in Wonderland a 5, but you gave this movie a 10?"
No, no, and I get, and that's why I'm not like, "How'd you give this a 7 and this?" I'm asking like, how did you give it? How did your score for these 3 movies vary so much, but then your overall thing is equal to the highest?
Well, I'll say this. So I'd give Batman Begins like a 5. I'd give The Dark Knight a 10, and I'd give Dark Knight Rises a 9, but I'd give the whole trilogy a 10.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily them individually. It's how they work together to make if you're scoring the whole trilogy. I feel like you have to look at the overall picture, and that can affect your score. But enough about scoring. How excited are you for the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies?
So excited.
Honestly, I am too.
It's been a while since I've seen them, and I've always enjoyed them every time I've watched them. So I'm excited to dive into those.
I loved the first one the first time I saw it, and then every rewatch after that, I felt like they kind of it kind of felt like just a retread of the Raimi first one. And the second one, was really hated, but I thought that was fun. So I'm really looking forward to the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
All right. Well,
you want to take us out?
Sure. Thanks for watching, guys. Tune in next week where we will bring you Amazing Spider-Man 1, the review. Be sure to check out our movie news pod if you're not doing that. And then Mondays, we should have a recommendations pod up. So be sure to tune into that if you need an idea of a new movie or TV show or book to watch or read.
Yeah.
And
maybe even video game. Who knows?
Maybe even. We'll see. One of these days. But we'll catch you guys next time, guys.
See you guys.